baseball's weird. It happens. There is no such thing as a sure thing in baseball. Guys, this LSU team got run-ruled by Northwestern State earlier this year in Baton Rouge. I mean, in a midweek. But, I think LSU is going to be a prohibitive favorite to win it all.
What is up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday, and thank you for making Crain & Company a daily watch or listen or both, which we encourage. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Keep sharing the show. As usual, to my left, David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback. To my right, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver and Sudoku expert, Blaine Crain, who did pick LSU. All right, let's just get that out. I want to get that out front.
Everybody know.
All right, Blaine picked LSU to win it.
Everybody needs to know
really,
that.
Way to go out on a limb. But anyways, we're down to 2.
Arkansas.
We're down to 2. That's
Coastal.
Beyond the point.
Yeah, they picked Coastal.
We're live, baby. We're swinging.
We're down to 2. All right, LSU, Coastal Carolina. We want to give you a full preview of this 3-game series. Remember, it is an actual 3-game. It's best of 3. Anything that happened before this is washed. It is your everyday 3-game series to see who's going to win the national title. And we thought it would be awesome to bring back a guy who covers LSU baseball, knows LSU baseball really well, knows all of college baseball, really. Our buddy from After Further Review, and he does like 19 other things, Matt Moscona. Matt Moscona.
Let's go, guys. LSU baseball playing meaningful games at the end of June is manna from the sports content creation heaven.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I want to dive in to obviously this matchup, talk about the pitching rotations, talk about the lineups, what we think is going to happen, strengths, weaknesses. But we would be remiss if we did not bring up, and Arkansas fans, look, I know you're tired of seeing it, tired of hearing about it. To be honest with you, I'm shocked if a lot of y'all didn't call in sick to work today. I get it. We got to go through what happened last night at the end of the LSU-Arkansas game. So, Matt, before we show the clips, I just want your kind of, how were you feeling when this was going down? Like when the double play didn't get turned, did you start to say, okay, here we go? Then the balls hit the left. If you've watched baseball, you know that's an out off the bat. Like, yeah, you hit it decently hard, but it's an out off the bat. But then we know what happened. How are you feeling throughout all this before we show the clips?
Well, there's a lot of layers. Zach Cowan giving you 5 1/3 was completely unexpected. Mm-hmm. And handcuffing the best lineup in the SEC, aside from the solo shot to lead off the top of the 4th. And honestly, guys, when Arkansas hit the solo shot to lead off the top of the 4th, I was thinking, all right, well, this is the end of the line for Cowan. He retired the next 7 hitters he faced, including striking out Vaheva Aloy, the SEC Player of the Year, to lead off the 6th inning. Then what broke the streak was the backside single against the shift. So he only gave up a hit against the shift, and he was out of the game. So first of all, that was amazing performance by Zach Cowan. The sequence in the 6th where LSU took the 2-1 lead was awesome. Jake Brown coming off the bench. The 8th inning, when Arkansas retook the lead, was a total disaster. And LSU, we talk about Vaheva Aloy choosing to go fielder's choice, get the lead runner at 3rd instead of turning the double play, which would have ended the game. But let's not forget, LSU made the pitch with the bases loaded in the 8th, ground ball to 3rd, and Jared Jones dropped the double play ball at 1st, which allowed Arkansas to take the lead 5-3. So there was just so many intricacies and layers of this game. To your point, Jake, yes, when Vaheva Aloy chose not to turn the double play and said get the lead runner, it was a worthless run. Arkansas was up 2. Yeah. Even if you don't turn the double play and you get the lead runner at 2nd, your worst case is there's 2 outs, 1st and 3rd. Like the runner at 3rd is irrelevant. Just get the guy at the plate. For a team that led the SEC in fielding percentage this year, Arkansas, to have those defensive gaffes, Davallon in left, Vaheva Aloy not turning the double play, was out of character for Arkansas, and certainly LSU benefited as a result.
Yeah, so all right, we have the clips here. I want to play the double play that did not get turned first. So, speaking of manna from heaven, Matt, just, we may show up. Matt may have a shirt off after we start playing this.
There's one out, right?
So there's one out. There's runners on 1st and 2nd. Okay. You are up 2 runs.
Yes.
You feel really good about where you're at still with runners on first and second. Let's go ahead and play the clip first. Play it.
This ball, KP.
So you get your ground ball here. You got to turn.
Oh, no.
So there's a couple things. Here's the rules. All right, and anybody out there who's played baseball, you can see it right here. If that ball was hit further in the 6 hole, in the hole between third and short, and it took your momentum where you had to backhand it and your momentum was still going to third, you're not turning the double play number 1. So you need to get the lead runner, that being the guy going from second to third. But when you watch the clip, oh boy stayed square the whole time. This isn't a perfect, right? This isn't a perfect double play ball, but it's damn near close and it's worth taking the shot. Watch the shortstop never really have to turn his body. He's square here. You got to throw it to second. You get that double play.
And it's not like the runner on first got a fantastic jump either. That's a guaranteed out.
He didn't look at
Even
second.
though you're not looking for that, though, right? Like, you're not deciding where you're going to go with the ball once you see, like, what kind of jump he got.
For sure.
You need to base it based off the fundamental principles if your shoulders are square, right?
That and you always, as a fielder, you make you know where you're going with the ball before the ball is hit, right? You know, if I get a ball in this certain spot, this is where I'm going with it. I am shocked. And this guy is an incredible shortstop. He's going to be a first-round pick. Hell of a player. And his little brother's pretty good, too, even though he didn't have a great College World Series. But, Matt, you don't turn the double play here. You get the lead runner at third, which, bad decision, but not disastrous.
Now you got 2 outs in the ninth.
Now you got 2 outs in the ninth.
Up 2.
So, all right, you made 1 mistake. Mistakes happen, but you still got an out. I love mistakes that end up with you getting it out anyways. Sure. So then let's go to what I think is the most egregious of them. And this is the fly ball to left. Let's go ahead and play that clip. Here we go. 2 outs, first and second. Up 2. Play it. I mean, that's an out. Bro, like this,
I hate it, man. I hate it for y'all, Arkansas.
I hate it for him, too.
I feel for you, man.
Like, if you're not an LSU fan, and I think even some LSU fans, you know, deep down, I mean, you got to feel some sort of sympathy for him. But if you are going to fall down, you shouldn't. All right, you panic, you choke. Let's be honest. Y'all just choked. Y'all choked huge at the end. If you're going to fall down, I don't care if you have to stop that ball with your face. It cannot go past you to score that second run. Matt, I've watched a lot of college baseball. You bring up that Arkansas has this great fielding percentage, and they did throughout the year. That was the biggest choke job in the College World Series I've seen since the last time Arkansas choked it away.
That's good to say. 2018, I mean, that was a pop foul. I mean, they were a pop foul, catching a pop foul away from winning the College World Series against Oregon State. They dropped it. Oregon State rallied, won, and then won Game 3 in the championship series. But in that situation, I'll disagree on the play with Davallon and left, because that's a sinking liner that was probably hit 105 off the bat. That's not an easy play. It's a play that a college left fielder of that caliber should make, yes. But it doesn't even come to that if Vaheva-Aloy turns the double play, which was a tailor-made double play. And, I mean, keep in mind, Aloy was the SEC Player of the Year. The shortstop who went to third, the first clip you showed, he was the SEC Player of the Year. I mean, that guy is an outstanding player who just – that is a Stephen Milo, that's not even close, the play first on the double play, and it never comes to the sinking liner and left. But the more egregious error is the mental mistake by Aloy. Not coming up with a sinking liner is forgivable. It's a play that you expect Davallon to make in left, but that is a more difficult play, especially because he read it poorly off the bat.
It's more difficult, but that's a 90% play in left field. Like they
hit it right at you.
They hit it right at you. And again,
the key is that is a sinking liner. And his first, if you go back, I think they showed a wide shot.
He goes back first.
First step was back, and then he had to charge in, and it's sinking. And so he's got to adjust as it's coming in. Ball hit him on the shoulder. I mean, it hit him on his right shoulder and caromed into the corner. So, like, it was still level to where he could have caught. Yes, he should.
But even that tied it, right?
That tied it.
So what about the line drive to win?
So this one is the most interesting one to me. Let's play the clip of the guy with multiple personality disorder in the College World Series, Bear Jones. He basically is the guy from Split. 1 second, he's striking out 5 times. The next, he's hitting home runs. Then he's dropping balls at first. Right? Then he's hitting from Marietta. Yeah. Let's play this line drive to win the game here.
is the winning run. He does get one to hit. It's off the.
I mean,
you got to make that play.
Like,
see, but that one to me,
That's harder, though.
of the three, like that one wasn't coming off 105. But if we're talking about a sinking line drive or a moving line drive, that infield's going to feel it a lot more than the outfield. But I thought he caught this at first until I heard Carl Ravitch say that he didn't. I thought he caught this line drive.
I didn't. I just looked for the ball to hit grass. So when I saw it landed, obviously you knew the game was over at that point, which was incredible. But what a piece of hitting by Jones. I mean, he's a guy that struggles with high heat and sliders away. That was an 83-mile-an-hour slider bending away from him into the left-handed batter's box, and he lowered his chest and he poked it into center. I mean, it's a really good piece of hitting. Yet, what's amazing is I don't know if you guys have the clip, but there is a slow-mo version of the second. I think they were shaded, but it was the second baseman, and the ball went right off. It wasn't the tip of his glove; it was the side of his glove. I mean, it's a play should have made. I mean, there's 3 plays in that half inning that this amazing defensive team they choked. I mean, look, LSU, to LSU's credit, you have to be able to make the plays to take advantage of the open door opportunity, and LSU had mistakes in this ball game, but in that sequence. We see it in sports all the time, guys. Like, who wants to take the game-winning shot in basketball? Who wants to have the ball in their hand, leading a game-winning drive in football? Who wants to be in the batter's box or on the mound with the ball in their hand, making the pitch in the 9th inning? Like, some guys rise in those situations, some shrink. And Arkansas, in that moment, they withered, and LSU rose to the moment, took advantage of it.
not like it was just one guy for Arkansas.
Well, and
it's 3 separate guys on the team who had the best fielding percentage, like in college baseball.
I felt.
How do you explain it?
I felt bad for Gibbler, the freshman on the mound. Oh boy, did what he had to do. Did what he had to do, and it was the older guys, the veterans, that screwed up. Because I mean, dude had some nasty stuff.
Did you think he came in throwing too many breaking balls?
Well, I think that's his thing. I think that was, his fastball wasn't just incredible, kind of like we've seen with some of these other guys. The movement was good, but I mean, he came in first pitch. Spun that slider, I think for a strike, and you're
sliders.
Like, here we go. I mean, look, that slider, if you can throw it, it's damn near unhittable if you're throwing 90 and above. Let's talk about something that separates the men from the boys. I'm talking about your health. The Emerson multivitamin from Responsible Man is packed with 33 key ingredients that support your body and give it the energy you need. And new for this season, Responsible Man has just launched Theodore Protein with 25 grams of clean American-made protein powder. It's fuel for men who lead, protect, and show up strong. No soy boys and no shortcuts. We're doing it the right way over here. And American men, unfortunately, run an average 30 to 50 grams of protein short. All right, we're not beating Iran that way. We got to figure it out. That leads to fatigue, slower recovery, and muscle loss over time. A quality protein supplement like Theodore helps close the gap fast, clean, and strong. Plus, Responsible Man's a Daily Wire Ventures company, so the vitamins and protein are made right here in the good old USA with American quality. Now, we wouldn't endorse this if we didn't believe in it. That's why this vitamin is part of our daily routine, like watching game tape, giving you the best breakdowns as possible, and looking as good for our wives and or loved ones. It's our secret for living a long and healthy life as well. So here's the deal. Right now, go to responsibleman.com, use our code BOOSTER, because they got a Father's Day sale, and you can get 50% off your first order. Again, that's responsibleman.com. Use our code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER at checkout, but this deal won't last long, so you need to hurry. Responsibleman.com, code BOOSTER for 50% off.
It adds 5 miles an hour to your fastball.
Yeah. Livy Dunn will like you.
You keep in mind, too, so John Pearson pinch hit to lead off the inning because Michael Braswell was hitting 9th and is, I think, hitting 0-30 in the College World Series.
Yeah,
it's been
struggling.
It's been a rough year offensively for Braswell, which is baffling because he hit 310 in the league a year ago. But he's a 190 hitter on the season, which is, it's wild to watch that. And I feel badly for him. But they pinch hit John Pearson, who's a freshman who struck out. And then Derek Curry. So the lineup flipped over is Derek Curriell, who's magnificent. And Curriell got to second base on the error at first.
Yeah.
So it actually started at the beginning of that inning, which kind of gave LSU some life because it's been a tough play, but it was a makeable play, or at least something that would have kept Derek Curriell at first instead of sending down to second in scoring position, which does change the dynamics of how you defend in that situation.
Well, I could make the argument that was the second baseman's ball. I know the first baseman was a little bit shaded over there with Curriell, which you think with a left-handed hitter, that's kind of interesting. But that was really the second baseman's ball because that lefty's going to fall off the mound to the third base side.
About the throwaway at first?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Him trying to get, well, once the first baseman took that two steps to the right, you're not getting back to the bag. Yeah. So he just decided to try and make the play himself. But, it was just I hate to use the phrase comedy of errors, but that's really what it turned into, and LSU took advantage. But, Matt, I want to move on to the series we have now. Obviously, that one's done. And I know LSU fans, they know their college baseball. There is nothing Cinderella about Coastal Carolina. This is not UMBC beating Virginia as a 16-1 or FAU making a run in college basketball to the Final Four. This is a team that has won a national championship the only other time they went to Omaha, when they were in the Big South, by the way. And if you have watched this team at all, and I told Auburn fans the week of the Super Regional, they're better than us. Like, they're better than we are. So when you look at this Coastal team, is it the balance that you think is the most worrisome with what they have at the top of the rotation, in the middle of the rotation, at the end, and then their ability to, you talk about putting quality at bats together, going the other way with 2 strikes. They just played the game the right way.
And they're a bit of an outlier in the portal era, because so often what you see with the mid-major baseball teams is star players from those teams now get gobbled up by the power schools in the transfer portal. A great example is Zach Cowan, who started for LSU against Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Zach Cowan was Wofford's Friday night guy a year ago. And Wofford was in the same regional, the Chapel Hill regional, as LSU. So LSU had to see Zach Cowan a year ago. He transfers to LSU and becomes a reliever. So that just goes to show, it's just one example of how a lot of these schools like Coastal, their talent gets pillaged. The interesting thing about this Coastal team is they're veteran. It's a lot of seniors and fifth-year seniors on that roster who've played together for a long time. And I totally agree. This isn't like Murray State was an outlier of a team that got hot, they could swing the bats, and they made a run because baseball, that can happen. Coastal's won 26 games. And if you go look at their non-conference schedule
in a row, in a row.
26 in a row. Yes, they've not lost in 26 games. Their non-conference schedule is so impressive. I believe at this point they might have, because if you count the postseason, look at live RPI, they have the number 1 non-conference strength of schedule in the country. And they went and challenged themselves, because you have to when you play in the Sun Belt. If you want the opportunity for an at-large berth, you basically become a bid stealer for the opportunity at at-large berth if you don't win your conference tournament. So Coastal's one of those teams that's earned that reputation. But guys, when we looked at the regional field, the 16 host sites, that Conway regional that had Coastal, East Carolina, and Florida in it.
Yeah.
Guys, my pick was Florida to win that regional. So Coastal coming out of there, I think, got a lot of people's attention. I'm not surprised that they beat Auburn. Auburn was, I think, worthy of where they were seated. The problem with Auburn was always going to be pitching.
Pitching, for sure.
When Sam Dutton was your Friday night guy, Sam Dutton was a down-the-line arm at LSU, and he had a fantastic season for Auburn this year. But pitching wins in the postseason, and particularly in Omaha. And it's why Blaine remains the smartest of all of you picking LSU, because when LSU has Kate Anderson and Anthony Ianson at the front of the rotation, that's the best 1-2 punch in the country. And it's why LSU should have been favored throughout this, and why they're probably going to beat Coastal Carolina and win the national championship.
Well, and for a third of you, David, I think a lot of people, and they were right, were saying, obviously the win for LSU yesterday is huge because you go to the College World Series best of 3 with a chance to win it. But now you get that extra day of rest, right? Not only that, but you don't have to go all in with arms tonight if you had lost that game against Arkansas, and then get 1 day of rest and turn around and then play Coastal on Saturday. But Coastal won every game they needed to win, didn't have to go through a crazy rain delay or extend into the next day to throw guys. Coastal's sitting in a really good spot as well. So it's good for LSU, but Coastal with Flugie, with Morrison, with what they have coming out of the bullpen, with Lynch at the back end, who's one of the best closers in college baseball that I don't think anybody knows about. I want both these teams to be ready to rock and roll. Is it going to be Cade game 1, Matt?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So the rain delay for LSU could have thrown things off. And it's why also it was so important for LSU to win yesterday because, listen, if LSU had lost that game, they'd come back today and they would have had Cade Anderson queued up to start and Anthony Ianson ready out of the bullpen. And LSU would have won today. I'm very Anderson, Ianson in tandem would have won this game for LSU against a bullpen day for Arkansas, especially because Arkansas had to use Gabe Gackle yesterday. So LSU would have been an overwhelming favorite had they played Arkansas on Thursday. But that would have compromised them for the weekend. So finishing it against Arkansas on Wednesday was so big because now LSU will have Cade Anderson on Saturday on full rest, and on Sunday they'll have Anthony Ianson on full rest. So you'll have the best 1-2 punch in the country ready to go game 1 and 2, and LSU will be a monumental favorite in both of those games because of their 2 starting pitchers. And if Coastal has a shot, like Cade Anderson's going to win, I think it'll be fluky on Saturday against Cade Anderson. And I think they'll hold Morrison for game 2. He pitched last Sunday, so I think they'll keep Morrison because it is a true, like you mentioned, Jake, it's a best of 3. So you're going to play, you're guaranteed at least 2 games. So I think Morrison will go game 2 against Anthony Ianson. I think Ianson will win that game and LSU win the national championship. But if it gets to a day 3, remember also, the thing that messed LSU up with the rain delay is Ianson was expected against UCLA to give them length because they had to stop and restart. He was burned. So LSU had to bring Case and Evans for the restart, which meant they did, like, without the restart guys, Case and Evans would have been starting for LSU yesterday. Now, Case and Evans will also be on full rest for game 3. So it's why Jay Johnson was prepared to go all in. That's why you saw Anthony Ianson in the bullpen at the end of that game yesterday. And he acknowledged on radio in Baton Rouge this morning that in the 9th inning, it was going to be, had it remained 3-3. Arkansas hadn't taken the 5-3 lead in the top of the ninth. That Anthony Ianson was coming into the game, and he was going to pitch for as long as he needed to make sure LSU won that game yesterday. But I mean, LSU's pitching, because they managed to win that game, is set up beautifully. Like they will be a prohibitive favorite to win the national championship, and they should win it. It will be monumental if Coastal manages to beat Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson.
Well, Coastal Carolina is my horse, so I'm still alive in this thing. I think what's most impressive with Coastal with the 26 straight wins is it's not like they were just doing that in the Sun Belt and now we're beginning postseason play. I mean, those wins include running through the regionals and the super regionals and so far unbeaten in Omaha. But, Matt, I just want to get a clarification here. If Coastal Carolina plays the best baseball they possibly can in this series and LSU does the same, you think LSU is an overwhelming favorite?
Yes. And look, Cone, and by the way, I did pick Coastal to come out of that side of the bracket. So this was the final that I thought we would see. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coastal. And honestly, bracket 1 was the lighter bracket. I mean, you had 2 national seeds with LSU and Arkansas in bracket 2, which I think we all sort of anticipated this is what it was going to take, what those 2 teams going against each other. But the biggest difference is on the mound. It's an old axiom, and I know it's cliche, but the cliches exist for a reason. You're only as good as your next day starting pitcher. And I mean, we just watched Cade Anderson last Saturday against Arkansas, which hit 314 as a team. I mean, Arkansas is arguably the best lineup in the SEC, one of the best lineups in college baseball. And Cade Anderson threw 7 innings of 1-run ball against Arkansas. I mean, he handcuffed him earlier this year as well in Baton Rouge. Coastal's lineup isn't going to be more challenging than facing Arkansas. You got to understand, guys, this is the lefty who throws 98, who's got a 4-pitch mix and might very well be the first pick of the draft. I mean, he's as great. Like we all watched Paul Skeens in the College World Series a couple of years ago, and I understand what Paul Skeens is doing now.
He's pretty good.
And how amazing he is. Like Paul Skeens had the greatest season in the history of LSU baseball. But Cade Anderson, I'm not saying he's Paul Skeens, but my goodness, he's not far behind when you're talking about a guy that's a potential 1-1 in the draft coming up in July. Like, there's a reason those guys generally don't show up on college campuses, and when they do, it's overwhelming because college hitters aren't used to seeing that. So it's a massive advantage for Cade Anderson on Saturday against Coastal, and then you're going to come back with Anthony Ianson, who gives you just as big of an edge. But if the big question I have is if, in fact, Coach Nall saves Morrison for full rest and throws him on Sunday, because this could be over on Saturday if they throw Morrison against Anderson and Anderson wins the game, which I think he will. Then there's just such a significant drop-off. It's almost like it would benefit Coastal to pitch off. I'm not saying you concede game 1, but understand you're saving your biggest bullet for game 2, where you have a better chance maybe to win, and then you see what happens in game 3 on Monday.
I see what you're saying. That the math adds up for me, Matt. But I do want to say Fluky's really good too, man. Like, I mean, Fluky, he's he's got a fastball with a lot of run on it that gets up there. I always find that what you do to the bullpen in Game 1 the most interesting in these matchups. Like, obviously the score is going to dictate what, but if you're up by 3 runs, let's say in the 5th inning, and you got to pull the starter because there's trouble, or maybe he threw too many pitches a couple innings in a row, do you instantly go to your best guy out of the pen in Game 1, or do you go to your second middle relief guy? I will say, too, about Coastal's the offense. Arkansas is, I think, pound for pound, a lot more talented than what Coastal is. But I think Coastal's approach at the plate is a lot better than what Arkansas's was. I was shocked, Matt, in the first matchup between LSU and Arkansas, that after the 3rd inning, Arkansas didn't try to start jumping on that first pitch fastball from Cade Anderson, because all he was doing to righties was painting the outside corner with a fastball and getting them down 0-1. I just wonder, if Coastal's mental approach in the box could help them out a little bit more instead of Arkansas, who went up there and it just kind of seemed like the same thing over and over again.
Maybe, but it's not easy to even touch 97 with.
No, it's not easy at all.
With 20-inch run away from a lefty. I mean, it's why Cade Anderson might be the first pick in the draft. Yeah. Like, it's just, and with respect, like Coastal, you don't see that every week in the Sun Belt. In the SEC, every week you're facing Liam Doyle from Tennessee, Ryan Prager from Texas A&M, Pico Khan from Mississippi State. Like, everybody's got dudes in the SEC. So you see dudes all throughout the year, and you wait for your opportunity to break through. It's not to say that you're going to go score an avalanche of runs. I don't think Coastal is going to be intimidated. I think they're a very good team. I've watched Cade Anderson do this all year. Yeah. They've lost 2 games behind him. One of them was a game at Auburn. And the other one was a game at Texas A&M, which was a low-scoring game where they lost to Ryan Prager, who was outstanding, another lefty who was dominant in the College World Series a year ago. It's baseball and things happen. Guys, this LSU team got run-ruled by Northwestern State earlier this year in Baton Rouge. I mean, in a midweek when there was a rain delay. Baseball's weird. It happens. There is no such thing as a sure thing in baseball. But I think LSU is going to be and should be a prohibitive favorite to win it all.
Yeah. Well, you're not the only one who thinks that, Matt. I do, and also the betting sites right now. I mean, LSU's favored -200 to win this series. But I do want to kind of get your opinion on, because I know, look, we've chosen LSU, but 1, what concerns you the most about Coastal Carolina? And 2, if Coastal were to win this series, how would they go about doing it?
Well, I think the key is what we just said. If they hold Morrison to Game 2 on Sunday and he just outduels Anthony Ianson, if LSU takes Game 1 behind Cade Anderson, which I think they will, then you set up a winner-take-all, 1 game. And guys, 1 game in baseball, I mean, it's just your starting pitcher could have the runs and just struggles to find his command, and like it's baseball. It's just it can happen on a given day. I mean, we watch major league teams get no hit. It just, like, the best players in the world. That's the scenario, is forcing a Game 3. For LSU, the onus is making sure you don't get to a Game 3. And so, Jake, back to something you mentioned about the relievers a bit ago, too, like what the approach would be. Cade Anderson will go as deep as he can into Game 1. And if LSU has a lead, you're going to see Casey Evans finish that game. And they'll win Game 1 with that strategy. We've seen him do it all year. And so I don't think it's necessarily as big a deal thinking about the depth of your bullpen, because now you treat this like a 3-game weekend series. And both of these teams, while you may have 15, 16, 17 pitchers on staff, when you get to this point in the season, you're only going to use your top 7 or 8 guys
for sure
in whatever combination you need. I mean, there could be a scenario, if y'all remember the championship series with LSU in Florida 2 years ago, Game 2 got away. It was like 26-4. It got, and so LSU was just using their up 10, down 10 guys, so as not to use anybody that was going to be significant in Game 3. I mean, that scenario could unfold, but in meaningful moments, in high leverage situations, I mean, I could tell you there's 7, maybe 8 guys that will pitch for LSU over the 3 games in the championship series.
Well, that's why the starter going deep. I mean, it's just
experience matters too. I mean, I wonder how much of a significance that's going to have. I mean, LSU's been here 2 times out of 3 years. I mean, Coastal. When's the last time Coastal was?
Well, the only time they went was in 2016 when they.
So I mean, LSU's not going to be ready. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, real quick about 2016. This is an interesting anecdote. So in 2016, Coastal beat LSU in the Baton Rouge Super Regional to advance to the College World Series. And in the championship series, they beat Arizona, coached by
Jay Johnson,
who was in his first year at Arizona. So this is like a double payback as well. And I know nobody nationally cares about this, but here, this is a narrative where like it's double payback from 2016 because Coastal beat LSU in Baton Rouge in the Supers and then beat Jay Johnson in the championship series.
Yeah, it's basically a Taylor Swift song situation. Matt, look, at the end of the day, I think the College World Series it's delivered. It's absolutely delivered. I know people have said the NBA Finals I thought it's been pretty good. It's the best thing the NBA's put out, all season. But there's nothing like the College World Series and watching this. Matt, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. Tell everybody where they can find all your stuff.
Yeah, man. Just, obviously, if you can spell my name, you can find me. But Afternoon Drive on ESPN radio stations throughout Louisiana. We're on YouTube and every social media platform. Just search Matt Moscona, get the vowels right, and you'll find me.
Yeah, his last name is just so unique. I don't even think Matt needs Ancestry.com. You just Google Moscona family line. There's only one thing that comes in the search bar.
Can I tell you one really funny, quick thing?
Go ahead.
Our family is from Sicily, and the family name was Salvaggio. So I always say, bro, you hear the stories about Ellis Island where people misspelled a name or they mispronounced. Like, we were running from something. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. My grandmother's father left Italy when he was like 14 and changed his name too. So he was probably running from something. God only knows.
I ate a cannoli once.
Yeah. Cone's lineage, they were on the boat in the Delaware with George Washington.
I'm way too pale.
He's been over here from the start, dog.
Hey, Matt, next time you come on, maybe you can tell us what a Chanticleer is. That's what I really want to know.
It's a mythical bird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I yield to you on all matters of knowledge. And
I thought it was just a drunk chicken. But all right, Matt Moscona, check him out. Thanks, Matt. Thank you guys for joining. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know who you think's going to win and why. We appreciate you joining us and like the chances of me not being super excited to watch this series. We're going. Oh, caught it.
Go Tigers.
Gone. They
Turn that double play.
Yeah, I'm turning it.